So what I'm asking it now to do is to plot the latitude and longitude of this float. So that means I can get the Lagrangian trajectory of the float. So I've asked it to plot the latitude and longitude of the data, and I've told the AI to color code the data points by the date. So I can see that in 2015, in December 2015, it was here, and over time it wiggled around, it went westwards and northwards, and it ended up here, right? So very, very quickly, without me having to do any coding, it's produced me a beautiful figure. And I know that it's right, because I expect to see that, right? And that's my expectation. I don't really have to go into the code to check everything, because I can do a check based on my understanding of what the system should look like. I can go more complicated. I can create a plot where I'm plotting temperature over time as a function of depth, which is quite a hard thing to plot. So here it's created some plots. So what this is showing here, this is time on the x-axis. The colors show the temperature. The y-axis show the depth. So this is the surface and this is the deep ocean. So this is how the temperature is changing over time from the surface downwards as the float is moving along. It's a little bit hard to see here. So I tell it, can I remove the mean temperature and the mean oxygen? So the bottom plot was oxygen, and it plots me a slightly nicer plot. So now I can see, well, this was summertime, this was wintertime, summertime, wintertime. And then I can do some further analysis. I can say, well, what I really want to understand about is there a link between temperature here and oxygen here? How can I do that? Well, maybe let's plot a correlation at each depth between oxygen and temperature. So I ask it to do that, and it plots the correlation map, right? So there's a strong negative correlation between oxygen and temperature at the surface. There's a strong positive relationship at 200 meters. I can then go and ask it, well, I understand why there's a negative relationship at the surface. I know some ocean processes that will give me a negative relationship. I don't understand this. Can you help me understand this? So I ask it to help me understand it, and it gives me a good explanation of why you get this correlation relationship. I won't go through this one because I haven't got the link. But again, it's about trying to explain concepts. So, you know, I was trying to get people to understand some property of marine heat waves. And it's very difficult to explain it. So I asked AI to build me an app to help me explain it. So I've got this app that now you can play with, and you can see the properties and how they evolve over time. Really simple example, right? So sometimes you want to write code to generate figures for you, right? And what I find really hard is laying out those figures. So here, what we've done is we've just drawn the figure on a whiteboard, given the image to ChatGPT, asked it to write the code that will generate the layout for me, and immediately comes up with this, you know, a template for where I can put my data in. You know, it's got these colored dots on, like I've got on here. It's got everything laid out in the right place. You know, it's taken me seconds to do this, and this would have taken me an hour of coding and trying to figure out what's going on. So it's saved me a lot of time, and I haven't really lost anything by getting AI to do this for me. I won't go into these. Just one more thing maybe I'll mention. Do any of you do coding? Do you write a lot of code in your courses? Yeah, some of you do. So I don't know if you use something like this, but most people, when they're using AI to do coding, will write a bit of code, put it into ChatGPT, get it to modify the code, put it back somewhere else, run the code, get an error message, paste the error message into ChatGPT and go back and forth like this. It's a very inefficient way of working. There are much nicer ways of doing coding work using these interfaces. So it's a free interface. This one is called VS Code, but there's lots of different types. So here is where it's just a text editor. So this is where I would type in my code normally, right? But you can link in an AI system into this text editor. So now I can put my prompt in here and I can say, all right, I want you to help me write a code that does this. And it will generate the code next to it. And then I can say, and then I can go and edit the code. I can go and check the code. I can get the AI system to go and help me revise the code. It's just a much better workflow for doing coding, much more efficient workflow for doing coding. So I don't think I have got anything more to say. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there, and I'll just leave these challenges up here again. I think this is super important, right? AI is an amazing tool, and it's going to help us in so many different ways, but it's really dangerous. It's really dangerous to use AI as well if you don't think about when you're using AI and what you're losing by using AI. Every time you use AI, you should think, am I losing skills by doing this? Should I be doing this? Is it okay to hand this job over to AI? If it's something that you know how to do anyway, right, and it's just going to speed up the process, that's fine. But if it's something that means that you're not going to learn something, then it's not right to hand it over to AI, and you're just losing out by handing it over to AI. Okay, I think I'll stop there. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Can we give it a big round of applause, please? So we already listened to the lecture from Prof. Gupta. I think we have, do you have any questions? Like 3%, like 3 students, do you have any questions? Because this is very important. AI is helpful, but dangerous on the other ways, okay? So you have to understand what you're gonna do, you have to think, but you should have the fundamental theory when you are asking AI related to the science and your assignment, okay? Do you have any questions? The girl is on the back. You raise your hand? You? Yeah? No? Oh, okay. I thought that you raised your hand. Do you have any questions related to the AI?
Maybe I can ask a question. How many of you, are any of you worried about AI? Does it worry any of you? Put your hands up so I can see.
Yeah. Just point out them and they just choose them. And you can ask them, yeah.
That's interesting. Only a couple of people are really worried about AI. Yeah.
Okay, please.
Excuse me. So was the question about me being worried in AI in case of just academics and or other practices? Because I myself, I enjoy writing just as a hobby myself. And I think my main case of being worried about AI is just in terms of creative jobs, in case of animation or art design, writing, all in the case of that needs human mind, because again, Leonardo da Vinci didn't make the thinker just with typing down the prompt. And inadvertently, I don't think machines are able to replicate that in at least in anywhere near time that I'm still alive, because it's going to take a lot of skill to make a robot that could chisel out marble statues. In case of academics, I'm sure that AI is a much more useful tool than it's given to be, because I myself, I use AI just to help me read papers, because obviously as a student, I'm supposed to be reading a lot of papers, like hundreds of them, and I don't have that much time and or patience to read through all that paper. So I have the PDF itself, give it to the AI, and I don't ask it as if I was asking if it were correct or not. I ask it as if I was talking to a person and bouncing ideas with what I thought is correct and asking it to the AI, and I take every answer with a grain of salt. So I myself, I'm not worried about being replaced academically, but seeing how I guess art is just underappreciated in society, I think that's one of the most worrisome factors in AI. Because AI and generative thinking is not really new, because there was always a bot named Cleverbot in the early 2000s, and it produced the same conversations as ChatGPT could. And it wasn't artificial intelligence, it's just collecting data from how people send messages across the internet and then replicated that in its platform. So just like using any messenger that you were to use in a modern way, it would replicate in how people would chat into that platform. More or less, it's kind of like the Turing test. So it's not new, but it is much more efficient, and I guess scary is the word that makes sense to use.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're using AI sensibly, which is good. Yeah, it's kind of strange because I've asked this same question to a room full of PhD students, and I asked them, are they worried? And almost all of them put up their hands. You know, they're unsure where it's going to take us and how much of what we do as researchers is going to be taken away by AI systems. You know, I like writing papers. I like doing coding. And if AI takes those things from me, then my job becomes less interesting.
I would like to add one more. Are you familiar with the, not really the research, but the theory of AI 2027? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I've read the.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty scary.
It was, and with the case, and you said that AI, well, the theory itself suggests that AI could reproduce the code for itself. That just kind of hit me like a whiplash because that really went back to the theory of AI 2027. Honestly, I'm kind of, it's a horse that's been beaten to death talking about AI, but it is really unfortunately, where the world is heading towards.
Yeah, so I guess that's a much bigger question, right? In society, how important AI is going to be. And what you were referring to, it was this 2027 report saying that when I showed you that coding, how much better they are at getting coding, right? When they start being really good at coding, they can make better AI systems, and it starts taking off very, very rapidly. So people are worried that it just gets out of hand. But who knows?
All right, thank you so much. Do you have any other statement or questions?
I think that'll be all from you. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. I think they are pretty shy. I think that. All right. So this is the close questions. So can you give like a big, not a big conclusion, right? And then it might be for the future AI. Where this AI gonna end up in the near future?
I'd be a very rich man if I could tell you that. What I do know is that you have people that tell you that it's going to take away all our jobs. You have people that tell you it's going to be the most amazing technology of all time, that is going to solve all health problems and climate change and all of these things. You got people that tell you it's definitely going to kill everybody. All I know for certain is that none of them know the actual answer, right? We don't know where AI is going. And to some extent, it depends on us, right? We can set the pathway. We can say, as a society, this is what we want to have AI doing. We don't want it to do certain things. We don't want it to be teachers for us. We still want to have human teachers. We still want to have human nurses. We still want to have, people doing certain things, and it's okay for AI to do other certain things. But unless we give our preferences, the AI companies are just going to do whatever they want. I think they do whatever they want to make as much money as they can, and